So now, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear me?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, I can.
Okay. So the question is, which of the following measurement is the value of the work actually completed? Actual cost, earned value, planned value, EAC. So if you remember, in our last session, we were explaining each one of these terms. First one is the actual cost, which is representing the actual amount of money which you have spent on the activity which you have completed or the work which you have completed. Planned value is what? Let me ask my friend Dua. You would like to say something?
Yeah, I think the planned value is the value like we put the budget for the project or what we
For the
decide.
whole for the whole project or what?
Uh, the actual, sorry, the planned value for like this delivery,
This delivery means what?
for certain delivery.
For certain delivery.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but for the whole project, what is the name of it? For the whole project, what is the name of it?
The budget.
Budget
Or,
what?
um, I'm sorry, I don't know which one.
You are right, by the way, but I would like to listen more to you.
The budget of the project, which the cost of the whole project, yeah.
Okay. When it comes to the whole project, we have certain term called budget at completion. Budget at completion or BAC. If you remember, let me. Okay. We have BAC, which is a budget at completion, which is representing the whole budget of your project from day one till the end of your project for all the activities which you have inside your project. Okay? That is called budget at completion. It will never change. It should be will never change till the end of the project. Second, we have the planned value. As you said right now, we are going to have a certain delivery. We are planning to do it during a certain period of time. So the estimated cost of this planned delivery, we haven't started yet working on it. The estimated cost of this planned delivery is called planned value. The second term, which is called EV, from this planned delivery, I have finished, let's say, for example, one item. So the earned value is representing the estimated value or estimated cost for the work completed. Estimated value or cost for the work completed. The AC, which is the actual cost, is representing the actual cost of the work completed. So let's say I was planning to do this work, which I have completed here. That is the estimation with 30 US dollar. And in reality, I spent even $29. That is the actual cost. Is it clear for you, Dua?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay. And estimate at completion. When it comes to the estimate at completion is what? based on a certain performance, based on certain calculations. If you go back to the last session, you are going to find like 1 hour and a half only describing this part. When you are going to check your performance and based on certain assumptions, based on certain scenarios, we are going to have like 4 formulas for estimating the budget at the end of the project, which is called estimate at completion. It's not equal to this. That is a budget at completion which you have estimated at the early beginning of your project. But when you're going to come to the real situation and you're doing the real work, the situation will be different. So the estimated at completion based on your performance and based on certain formulas calculation, you're going to have 4 formulas to calculate the estimate at completion. So this question, which of the following measurement is the value of the work actually completed? AC? No. Because he's saying is the value of the work actually completed. When it comes to the work actually completed, then we are going to ignore planned value. We are going to ignore planned value because planned value is talking about the planned delivery. We haven't started working on it. Now it is between the actual cost, earned value, and the estimate at completion. The value of work actually completed, here we are talking about the actual work which we have completed right now. We are not making forecasting for the future or the remaining part of your project, which is representing the estimate at completion. Which is representing the estimate at completion. Based on your current performance, tell me what will be my budget at the end of the project. But here he's talking about the value of the work of actually completed. So we are going to ignore planned value and the estimate at completion. And now we are talking about the actual cost and the earned value. The actual cost is what? The actual amount of money which you have spent in this activity. But there is nothing here is referring to the actual amount of money which have been spent. Just they are saying the value of the work which have actually completed, which is referring to the earned value. I hope it is clear for each and everyone. Raise your hand if it is clear for you, please. Nader.
Yes, Haitham, let's say by first glance, I saw it as actual cost. Okay, but after that, I was thinking about earned value. But in the exam, how much tricky a question like this will be? Because it's and I'm clear for all these abbreviations ACBV. But after all, I was intending to select AC. So how we can manage this through the exam?
Practice.
Practicing only.
Practice, that's it. I told you, if you remember, when I was writing the messages on the WhatsApp, I asked you for the formulas, any calculation or any definitions related to the formulas. You can get back to your notes or you can get back to the lectures. However, try as much as you can to solve it without checking this document. So by practice, this will be like piece of cake to you.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. What we have here. احنا اصلا كلنا على بعض كام 8. الناس كلها قالت لي تسمع الريكوردينج بقى في الحته دي. Okay. Now let's say Ruba.
Yes,
Yes, I'm listening to you, ma'am. Read question number 5.
okay. You are the project manager for BB Shops nationwide toy store chain. Your new project involves creating a prototype display at several stores across the country. You are using a Raki chart to display individuals and activities. Which of the following is true regarding this type of chart?
Okay, first of all, what is RASI diagram?
ذاك أنا طلعت استنى تذكرت إن معي مستر أني طلعت هذا نسيت شو هي شو أنا طلعت كتبتها نسيت هيثم أنا كتبتها نسيت وين كتبتها.
طيب, when it comes to the RASI diagram, if you remember the RASI diagram, we are going to have it as a part of planned resource management. And when it comes to the planned resource management, we are going to have, as I said before, we are going to have the organization structure for your organization, and maybe you are going to have a certain organization structure for your project. So this organization structure is going to be broken down into certain organization structure for this project. Okay, fine. Now we have, for this project, we have these titles, we have these positions, we have this number of resources. So based on our estimation, based on the activity requirements, we are going to have a certain diagram called RASI diagram. The RASI diagram, if you remember, was standing for let's say that is the resource. Let's say that is the project manager. That is the team leader. Let's say that is the civil engineer. That is the project sponsor, for example. RAS stands for responsible, accountable, consult, and inform. Responsible, accountable, consult, and inform. So when it comes to a certain task, let's say that is task 1. When I'm going to say this guy, or no, let's say the civil engineer is responsible. So he is the one who is responsible for doing the required work inside this task. Each and every part related to that task, he has to do it by himself. So he is responsible. When it comes to the accountable, the team leader. Why? Because maybe the site manager or the team leader, yes, he's not responsible for the doing the work, but he is responsible for the correctness of that work. He's responsible for finishing this work according to the time frame or the assigned timeline for this task, according to the cost. So someone is responsible for doing the technical work according to the requirements. And at the end of the day, there is someone who is accountable for ensuring this work is matching with the required specs. Consult. Maybe you are going to consult the project manager, or you are going to have a certain consultant in the project. At the end of the day, maybe you are going to take his opinion or no. Inform, like the project sponsor. You're going to update him with the status of each and every task or the status of certain milestone. But he's not going to interfere in this bullshit. So the RACI diagram is a part of the organization structure, and it is part of the resource management plan. It is part of the resource management plan. So is it clear for you now, Ruba?
Yes. I
Okay.
remember.
Okay. So based on this explanation, from your point of view, which answer is the right answer?
Of course, B.
Of course, B.
Yes.
Why B?
Why? Because first of all, the definition is mentioned that it's a matrix based. This is the first one. It's a matrix based, and second point that it is the resource management process, part of resource management process. These two, were the tricky ones. Now I've seen the answer, but that's what when I searched for the answer, these two words were the matrix based and the resource management process.
When it comes to the right answer, the RACI diagram, yes. The RACI diagram is part of the organization structure. Part of the organization structure. Here, it's just referring in your answer. Yes, part of it is right, but it's not including the full definition of the RACI diagram. Again, back to the back to the explanation. We were saying that it is part of the organization structure. And it is used inside the resource management plan. You get the difference or no?
Okay.
No. You get the difference or no?
Yes, yes.
Is it clear for you now?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's go to question number 6. Let me ask Engineer Muhammad. Engineer Muhammad, yes, please. Engineer Muhammad.
Yes, I'm sorry, معلش can mute معلش.
No,
Which of the following best describes the role of cross-functional team member within an agile team?
Okay.
A, the individual who guides the coaches and coaches the team, sometimes referred to as Scrum Master, Project Manager, or Team Coach. B, the individual responsible for guiding the direction of the product. C, individuals who possess the skills necessary to produce a working product. D, the individual with decision-making authority who authorizes and releases team member assignment.
طيب.
والله هنا السؤال
Your
ده
explanation.
سوري.
لا انا عاوز افهم من الاول بس حضرتك يعني فهمت ايه من السؤال وبعد كده قول لي حضرتك اخترت ايه.
هو بيقول يعني هو asking which the best cross functional team member within an agile team. cross functional ده كان فهمي انا شخصيا جاوبتها غلط الحقيقه السؤال دوت يعني ما اخبيش عليك.
ماشي. طيب قول لي حضرتك بعد ما قريت الانسر فهمت ايه بقى؟ وضحت لك ولا لسه؟
يعني مش قوي والله، انا كنت مختار بي.
طيب
هو الانسر المفروض انها مش بي يعني.
تمام. طب اتفضل حضرتك
هو
كمل، انا
كروس
عاوز
فانكشنال
اعرف.
تيم ممبر، المفروض الكروس فانكشنال ده يا هيثم اللي هو بيبقى يعني بيبقى في التيم وليه فانكشن برضو مع تيم تاني او مع جروب تاني، ده اللي انا فاهمه يعني.
اها اوكي وبعدين
بس
الكروس فانكشنال ده، الكروس فانكشنال دوت اوكي let me say it in English. The cross functional, this one is the one who has the T-shaped experience. So he has deep experience in certain area, and at the same time he is familiar with the framework of other domains. So he is going to help the others to finish the required work. You got the point or no?
ايوه ايوه.
معلش عيد هيثم ما فهمت.
Okay.
Again please.
When it comes to the cross-functional, okay, that one, okay, he has the experience in certain domain, deep experience, okay, but at the same time he is familiar with the other domains, so he's going to work with his skills with the other team members to finish the required work. Is it clear for you right now or no?
Yes.
Okay, so the right answer for this will be C. The right answer for this will be C. Additionally, regardless if you understand this or no, when it comes to the answer A, an individual or the individual who guides and coaches the team, sometimes referred as a scrum master, sometimes called project manager, sometimes called team coach. When it comes to the agile, we are not going to have what we call the project manager. We are going to have maybe a scrum master, or we are going to have the product owner or team facilitator. But the project manager, that title is not there. The title is not there. When it comes to the agile, we have product owner, we have team facilitator, we have scrum master, and they are going to work together. The full responsibility or the big ego of the project manager is not there anymore when it comes to the agile. Number 8. Which of the following statement is true regarding diversity and inclusion? We have like A, B, C, and D. And the answer, which is, sorry, and also E. And let me ask Nader, what do you understand from this? What do we understand from what we mean with diversity and inclusion?
يعني مش واضحة. It's not clear for me, but it's maybe diversity, variety يعني. Let's say diversity. Which of the following statement is true regarding diversity and inclusion؟ يعني المشمول وغير المشمول أو الخارج is out of contract, out of
What do you mean with المشمول وغير مشمول?
يعني let's say sometimes in contracts they write what is the scope of work of this guy and the scope for and what is on this part and يعني what shall this part do and what the other part shall do as agreement. So maybe diversity and inclusion and what is included and what is not included, let's say. Is it?
Okay, so based on your understanding, Could you read to me these answers which is in front of you and explain to me each one of this, and after that you are going to tell me the right answers?
Okay, which of the following statement is true regarding diversity and inclusion? Inclusion ensures all team members can participate and have a voice on the team.
Okay.
Inclusion encompass hiring project team member from a variety of religious backgrounds, culture, ethnicity, and experience.
Okay.
تمام. Diverse team can explore new ideas and identify ideas to clear challenges and issues. Generational sensitivity involve understanding differences across the generation uh, in the workforce today.
Okay.
In my opinion, maybe B, inclusion encompass hiring project team member from a variety of religious background, culture, and ethnicities and experience.
Okay. Let me ask you one thing, Nader, please.
Yes.
Have you applied before for any multinational company?
No, I never do it.
Okay. Let me ask one of our team members if someone of them they have applied. Anyone here has applied before for any multinational company? Okay. So when it comes to the applying for a certain multinational companies, regardless of whether they are applying this policy or they are following this policy or no, but when you are going to follow certain, when you are going to apply for a certain position in a certain multinational company through LinkedIn or Glassdoor or any platform or even through directly their website, you are going to find a certain statements related to diversity and inclusion and discrimination. They are going to say certain statements that we encourage each and everyone all over the world to apply for to apply to all of our positions, regardless of your age, regardless of your religion, regardless of your color, regardless of your um, um, regardless of your gender, regardless of any behavior, regardless of the politics. So we encourage you to apply inside to apply for this position inside our company. We are encouraging the culture diversity inside our organization, working with our company, including 1, 2, 3. This part is 100% explaining this question. When it comes to the diversity and the inclusion, they are welcoming each and every one all over the world, regardless of your color or regardless of the skin color, regardless of your language, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of your religion, regardless of your culture. You are welcome to say and express any idea. You are going to be part of the team regardless of your age, and your opinion is going to be welcomed and appreciated. That's what we mean with the diversity and the inclusion. So when it comes to this question, based on the explanation which I have said right now, from your point of view, what should be the right answer? Nader.
Yes. I'm
Based
telling
on
you, and I was selecting B as because inclusion, يعني it's to be يعني to have some varieties in religious and background, white, black, everything like this. يعني يعني أنا it was said to me before, a
Mhm.
company with different let's say يعني اذا كان في فعلا اشخاص مختلفين حتى بالجنسيات بهاي الشركه بتكبر. هاي
Mhm.
انحكت لي انا. انه يعني الشركه لازم يكون فيها دايفرسيتي وناس مختلفين، يعني ما
طب
تكون من
ما
ذاك
تقرا طب ما
المنصه
تقرا كده ما
جنسيته
تقرا
مثلا.
الاجابات تاني، اقرا الاجابات تاني وقول لي يمكن في حاجه تانية غير بي.
انا شايفها بي صراحه، inclusion encompass
طب
hiring.
والباقي لا ما فيهاش الكلام ده، يعني بقيه الاجابات ما فيهاش الكلام ده.
diverse team can explore new ideas and identify idea to clear challenges and issues. هذه برضو تمشي يعني. ما هي المشكلة
طيب
مش هيثم، أنا عندي مشكلة بأنه ممكن أختار اثنين يعني. هي كده
طب ما هو مدي لك اوبشن، ثواني بس، ما هو مدي لك، هو مش بيقول لك اختار واحده. ما انت لو قريت السؤال لحد سوري I'm talking in Arabic. He doesn't ask you to select only one option. He's giving you all the options and at the end he's giving you certain answer including all the above options.
هاي آخر دي generational
لا
sensitivity.
the
وينها؟
answer number E, A B C D.
I did not see it. أنا هاي I did not notice it.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. When it comes
Okay.
to the exam questions, first of all, your mentality should be ready for the exam, and your mentality will be ready for the exam by solving multiple questions and hundreds of questions. And I'm going to give you references for all of this. Okay, so first of all, you are going to practice more and more questions. Second, you need to read the question carefully because maybe one word is going to change the definition, is going to change the question. So you have to pay attention for each and every word mentioned in your question. You got the point?
Yeah. Then the question inclusion ensures all team member can participate and have a voice on the team. Then E, maybe it workable now because both B and C for me it's okay. Generational sensitivity involved understanding differences across the generations in the workforce today. Then E
Yes.
can work.
So again, regardless, forget about the pin book for this part. If you have a LinkedIn account and you are applying for certain jobs, just try to search for a certain multinational company have a certain vacancy right now, and check their policy for diversity and inclusion and discrimination inside the company, and you're going to find like eight statements or 10 statements talking about this part. Okay.
Okay, done. Then
Okay.
E. The answer is E now.
Okay, is it clear for you?
Yeah, I'm clear.
Okay. And for our friends, raise your hand if it is clear for you, please. Okay. Lower your hand, please. Okay, let's move to question. Okay. This question, which is 7, I don't know how it comes repeated. Okay, anyway, your selection committee is considering 2 projects. They are choosing only one or the other. The project A expected cash inflows are 14,000. It has payback period of 14 months and IRR equal 4%. So let's write down these points. Could someone tell me the numbers, please? Project 1. I'm listening. I'm waiting for someone to tell me the
الcash inflows $14,000.
cash flow.
Will pay back $14,000. Will pay back period is 14 months.
Okay.
IRR 4%.
Project 2,
5,000 cash flow in 16 months.
15 months.
16 months. Or 2. IRR is 2.
Okay. So, what is the question? Ruba, could you continue reading the question, please?
Yes. Your selection committee is considering 2 projects. They can. Should I continue or repeat?
No,
Continue.
continue reading.
Okay. They can choose only one of the other projects. A expected cash flow are 14,000, has a payback period of 14 months, and IRR 4%. Project B expects cash inflows of 5,000 per quarter of the first 16 months, and IRR is 2. Which project should the selection committee choose and why?
Okay.
I did. Okay. A, because its payback period is shorter than B. B, because IRR value is less than project A. B, because the payback period is shorter than A. Or project A, because IRR value is higher than project B. I answered wrong. I answered A. I thought that we should look at the payback period, but then I realized that the IRR is there.
Okay. First of all, let's go back to the definition of the payback period and IRR. If you remember, we were having a certain number of terms related to selection or evaluating project. One is called net present value. One is called payback period. And one is called IRR. And one is called return on investment. Right? Okay. So when it comes to the payback period, what we mean with payback period, Ruba?
I remember the payback period that the income or the, what do we call it, الربح يعني, that should come back to the out of the project, and it should be the least. I remember that should be they choose the least.
You are saying that the income, right?
Yes, the income.
Okay. Back to the question. Here, the payback period is 14 months. For sure, the income is not going to be expressed in months, right?
The
So,
what again?
well, you are saying that the payback period is the income, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
When it comes to the income, it should be expressed in number, right? Let's say 40,000, 15,000, 1 million, right? But here they are expressing it in months, right? Okay. The payback period. It's related to when you are going to get the money back which you have invested in this project. Let's say you have invested 1 million Kuwaiti dinar in a certain project. Okay? When you are going to get this amount or this money again, or when you'll get it back, maybe after 2 months, maybe after 1 year, maybe after 3 years, maybe after 15 years. That will be the payback period. Again, when we are going to take it on the personal level, when I'm going to say, Ruba, please lend me money. How much you need, Haitham? 10 KD. Okay. When you are going to give me this money back, I'm going to say, let's say 1 month. For you, it will be better if I'm going to say within 10 days, right? And it will be much better if I'm going to give you, tell you I'm going to give it to you tomorrow, right? Okay, so The payback period is the same. The amount which you have invested in this project, when you are going to get it back. So when it will be shorter time or shorter period, it will be much better, right?
Yeah, sooner is better. That's why I looked at the payback period. I thought the sooner is better.
Okay. The payback period, when you're going to compare between two projects, only on the payback period, you're going to select the project which have shorter payback period. Again, you are going to select the project. If you are going to ignore about, you are going to forget about the IRR factor, and you don't have the NBV or ROI, and you are comparing between the projects only based on the payback period. You're going to select the project which have shorter payback period. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if I'm going to compare between the payback period and the other parameter. So, first of all, let's say, what is the NBV? It is the net present value. Net present value, which means what? The accumulated cash flow which you are going to gain over years, it will be discounted by a certain discount rate or certain interest rate to reflect the real value of this money. Let's say you are going to invest certain amount of money in a certain project, and they are going to tell you after 10 years you are going to get this amount of money. Within seconds you have decided, oh, this project is good project. Why? Because I'm going to make money out of it. But hold on. The amount which they have told you that you are going to gain over years, it's not reflecting the real value of this money which you are going to gain over years, because it's going to be discounted. Discounted means what? Maybe certain inflation will happen. Maybe the currency is going to be changed. There will be a fluctuation in the currency price. Maybe they are going to apply a certain tax. Maybe you are going to face a certain risk inside this country. Because of that, we are going to apply a certain discount to reflect the present value or the actual value of the money which you are going to invest. When NBV will have minus sign, then this project, we are going to ignore it. To find the NBV, you need to go back to the presentation and you need to go back to the recordings. When the NBV will be minus, at this moment, this project, I'm not going to take it. When it will be zero, then this project is okay. When it will be plus, this project is perfect. If I'm going to compare between two projects based on NBV, I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV, which will have higher NBV. If I'm going to compare between two projects based on the NBV and the payback period, I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV, even if that project have longer payback period. Let's say I have project 1. The NBV is 50,000. and the payback period is, let's say, 10 years. Project 2 have, let's say, 20,000 and the payback period, let's say 4 years. I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV, even if it has longer payback period. Why? Because I'm going to make more money. Additionally, the payback period, if I'm going to depend, the comparison is going to be depend only on the payback period without the NBV, then it's fine. I'm going to select the project which have shorter NBV, shorter payback period. But when it comes to the evaluation, based on other parameter with the payback period, I'm going to select the other parameter and ignore about the payback period. Why? Because the cash flow inside the payback period doesn't take in its consideration the real value of money. Real value of money. It doesn't reflect the actual value of money. So I'm going to select the other factor, whether it is the NBV or the IRR. Now we have defined the NBV. So what is the IRR? It is the internal rate of return. Internal rate of return. Internally, inside the company, we are not going to select this project unless we have a certain internal rate of return equal this percentage. The higher IRR is much better. And the IRR can be described as that discount rate which will make the NBV equal 0, which means the cash outflow or the amount which you have invested in your project will be equal the cash inflow. Again, it is the discounted one. The cash outflow equal the cash inflow. So the internal rate of return is that discount rate or that interest which is going to make the cash inflow equal the cash outflow, which will make NBV equal 0. If you go back to the recording, we have spent a lot of time describing this part. So if I'm going to compare between the two projects based on the payback period and the NBV, I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV, even if it has longer payback period. If I'm going to compare between two projects based on the payback period and IRR, I'm going to select the project which have higher IRR, even if it has longer payback period. Why? Because the cash flow calculation in the payback period, it's not accurate to that level. When I'm going to compare between two projects based on the NBV and IRR, I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV. I'm going to select the project which have higher NBV. I hope it is clear for each and everyone. Raise your hand if it is clear for you, please.
Haitham, please, can we like put them in sequence, like from the most important to the least important?
طيب.
the comparing.
Okay. When it comes to the NBV and equal to the ROI in the importance. If you are going to compare between two projects, comparison based on the payback period only, select the project which have shorter payback period. That is the first. Okay. Compare based on payback period and any other parameter like NBV or ROI or IRR, only two parameters, which will be the payback period and the NBV or ROI or IRR. Select the project which will have higher NBV or ROI IRR. You are going to compare here between two parameters, either with the payback period and one of these parameters, maybe NBV or ROI or IRR. You are going to select the one which have higher IRR or higher ROI or higher NBV. Comparison based on only IRR. Select the project which have higher IRR. Okay. الكيس الرابعة. Comparison based on IRR and NBV or ROI. Select the project which will have higher NBV or ROI. Now is it clear?
هيثم يعطيك العافية.
الله يعافيك.
And I remember that last session you gave us the course where you explained this MBV. You told us to respect IRR as the top parameter of
No,
selecting the project.
no. I was saying the NBV. Go back to the recording and you will find it. The NBV is a much appreciated one. The NBV and ROI.
Mm.
Go
Okay,
back
let me.
and your
Sure.
the NBV. The NBV is a much appreciated value and the ROI.
Okay. خلاص.
Okay.
Can you show me the third point, Haitham?
Again.
Can you show me the third point? I think the previous slide.
You think what?
No, I just want to know the third point. This is the fourth point that you. I just want to
The
see the
third
previous
point.
slide. Yes, yes.
It will be recorded. You can see it at any moment.
Okay.
Okay. So is it clear now for each and everyone? Okay. Let's take a break for 15 minutes, and after that we are going to come back, inshallah. Okay. So welcome back. Now, this question, which is question number 9. Let me ask uh, Mr. Jubi.
Yes, Haitham.
Could you read this question and tell me your understanding and the right answer, please? Question number 9.
You are in the midst of performing cost management activities. You discover there are two competing alternatives to decide between. You can hire a contractor to build one of the project deliverables, or you can buy the deliverable from an overseas supplier. Both options require acquisition, operating, and disposal costs that you compare between the two alternatives to make a decision. What technique are you using?
Okay. And
So you're looking for my answer. I really don't have
yeah.
an answer.
No, your answer.
I have to choose financial analysis, but I don't remember we discussing about that. Value engineering. No, I'm not able to make out the answer.
Okay. Let me tell you one thing. When it comes to the acquisition, let me. Okay. When it comes to the acquisition, operating, and disposal cost. Let me highlight this part. Incur. And also, we are making two competing alternatives. This is called, first of all, alternative analysis. If you remember, when we were talking about the estimating the cost and making the analysis for the cost, what you are saying about the financial analysis, yes, the financial analysis, it's part of this cycle, but the right name for it It's life cycle costing. Why? Because we are starting the cycle from the acquisition. Additionally, after that, the operating and disposal cost. So acquisition, that is the first step in your product. You are going to purchase it or you are going to buy it. Operating, the cost of operations. And after finishing the required task or after completing the required task, how you are going to dispose it. The cost of its disposal. So it is the life cycle of your product. That is called life cycle costing. Financial analysis. Yes, the financial analysis, it is part of the life cycle costing, but the financial analysis is more than generic. But the specific and the right name for this, it's called life cycle costing. The other two options, which is value engineering and earned value management. The earned value management, again, based on your current performance, you would like to make forecasting. You are assessing your current performance for the project overall. And based on that, you are going to make forecasting for the future. What will be the budget at the end of the project? So according to that situation, we are still in the early beginning of our project. We are comparing between two suppliers. We haven't started the work. And here we are not talking about anything related to the current performance and forecasting for the future. So the earned value management also, it's not going to work out. What we mean with the value engineering? Let me ask you, I think Engineer Muhammad, he is the best one who can describe what we mean with value engineering. Yes, Engineer Muhammad.
Value engineering, Haitham, is when you make a suggestion or something to modify specification or specify certain scope, to modify it to save money practically to the owner and the client, and also save money for yourself as a contractor, because you are making a change to specification or something like that, that will reduce your cost and will also reduce the money that the client should pay you. So usually this value engineering is done, and the profit from this one is usually shared between both parties. Yeah, this is what we usually do in value engineering.
So, as said right now by Engineer Muhammad, how to maximize the benefit which you are going to gain from this product or this solution in that project. Let's say how to maximize. You can correct me, Engineer Muhammad. I have a certain machine. How to maximize the benefit from this machine? How to utilize it to the maximum value inside my project? That's right or wrong, Mr. Muhammad?
Yes, you can say so. Yeah.
So the value engineering, how to maximize the benefit from the product or the item which I have in my hand, and reducing the cost of it. But when I'm going to compare between two products, and I'm going to make analysis based on their cost of disposal, cost of acquisition, cost of operations, that is called life cycle costing. Life cycle costing. But when I'm going to talk about how to maximize the value of this product, that is called value engineering. Earned value technique, I'm talking about my current performance and estimating for the future. Financial analysis, yes, the financial modeling is part of the cost analysis, but when it comes to the term which is applicable to that question, it is called life cycle costing. Let's move to the question. Yeah,
Clear, Haitham. Thank
clear?
you.
Okay. So question number 10. Let me ask Dua.
Yes, Haitham.
Please read the question number 10 and tell me the right answer and why you have selected this answer.
Okay. Can I see the question? An organization interested in shifting the organizational culture to adopt a new practice, such as Agile, must create an environment that enables which of the following: safe, honest work environment, checks and balance, flexible environment, transparent environment. First, it should be flexible as they are moving to Agile. And checks and balance. So it can
What do
be
you mean
B
with
and
checks
C.
and benefits?
Checks and balance. Yani at the same time, they will make controlling and monitoring for the deliverables or for the current project, and create a balance in the organization. We said there is project and operation organization, so it could be a balance organization, which has two of yani both have the same authority.
Who has the same authority?
The operation and the project will not make the projectize or operational organization. It could be balanced.
Okay. Let me tell you one thing. Some questions, it's a straightforward question. Some questions are straightforward questions. When it comes to the practices which should be, or the culture which should be adjusted inside a certain organization in order to follow a certain agile technique or a certain new environment, according to the agile practice guide, the organization should have safe, honest work environment and transparent environment. Safe, honest work environment and transparent environment. This is a clear statement in the Agile Practice Guide. Whenever any organization would like to apply the Agile mindset inside the organization, it has to follow this sequence: safe, honest work environment and transparent environment. Clear? It's a clear definition in the Agile Practice Guide. From the first moment, you can say it is the same. But the PMI tries to be tricky in their questions. So pay attention to the words which will be mentioned in some definitions, like safe, honest work environment and transparent environment. Clear?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay. Question number. Okay. Nader.
Yes, I
Question number 11.
11. The president of the company has asked you to lead a large new project that links to the company's number one strategic priority. Shortly after learning about this news, you receive a visit from a principal architect who notes that he will also be working on the project. The project has not formally kicked off yet. What has likely occurred? The principal architect has gotten ahead of himself. A misunderstanding since the project has not yet begun. The principal architect has been uh, pre-assigned. The principal architect is expressing his interest. Okay, what has likely occurred? The principal architect has gotten ahead of himself since the project has not yet started. Misunderstanding since the project has not yet begun. The principal architect has been pre-assigned, and I'm not clearly understand the question, Haitham. يعني okay, translation it's okay for me, but what has likely occurred? يعني what has happened? The principal architect has gotten ahead of himself. A misunderstanding since the project has not yet begun. The the principal architect has been pre-assigned. The principal architect is expressing his interest.
Could you
A
read the question
misunderstanding,
again?
I think. B. The project
Again,
is
no,
still
no, no,
not.
no. First of all, read the question again.
The president of the company has asked you to lead a large new project that links to the company's number one strategic priority. That's clear.
Okay.
Shortly after learning about this news, you received a visit from a principal architect who notes that he will also be working on the project. Okay,
Mhm.
the project has not formally kicked off. What has likely occurred? يعني the project is still not formally kicked off yet. ما يعني ما صار ما بلشت
قولها
لسه.
بالعربي يا نادر، قولها بالعربي. انت ايه اللي فاهمه من السؤال؟
انا فاهمه انه مدير الشركه او صاحب الشركه عينك على مشروع استراتيجيكالي مهم للشركه،
ماشي.
وبعد فتره صارك you received a visit from a principal architect.
يعني جالك واحد كده من الاخر بيقول لك انا متعين معاك في المشروع ده، صح كده؟
هو تمام، ايوه
هو بقى جاي بيقول لك انت يعني هو جاي في السؤال بيقول لك ان انت اصلا البروجكت لسه حتى ما تعملوش كيك اوف.
ما
تمام.
بلشت. ايوه
ما
what has
بلشش
likely
اصلا. ليه
اه
الراجل ده بيقول الكلام ده؟ انت توقعك ليه؟ يعني هو دلوقتي خلينا بس
try
نركز على الجمله اللي هو جاي بيقول لك ايه. The principal architect who notes that he will also be working on the project.
مم.
يعني هو بيقول لك انا هشتغل معاك في المشروع ده، مش بيقول.
تمام. ما هو this is a misunderstanding I think since the project has not yet begun.
ايوه احنا مش كان عندنا لما كنا بنتكلم على الريسورسز كنا قلنا ان في حاجه اسمها بري اساينمنت، ما
اها
قلناهاش دي؟
بري انا I cannot remember clearly for the resource
اوكي
يعني.
اوكي. First of all,
مم.
okay, the principal architect has gotten ahead of himself. What do you understand from this?
يعني انه يعني he's assigned himself by him يعني by to lead the project. He just
لا يعني هو بيفرض نفسه على المشروع.
يفرض نفسه يعني imposed himself to the project. That's it. That's what
بالظبط كده.
okay.
طيب. Second one.
A misunderstanding because the chief or the chairman he select me for this. So maybe it's a
Okay.
misunderstanding. Is
Okay.
it?
Okay.
Third one,
Then continue.
uh, the third one, the principal architect has been pre-assigned. But if they have to pre-assign someone, you have to get information. صح?
Who?
You are
Who?
you are leading this project.
He has just informed you that you are going to lead this project.
Hmm.
He has just informed you. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When you are going to apply for a certain tender, sometimes, okay, you are asking someone, please give me your CV, and I'm going to put your CV in my proposal. And in case we are going to be awarded this project, you are going to be with us in this project, right?
Sure. Yes.
That is called what? Pre-assignment.
Ah. Pre-assigned. يعني he's not assigned. Yes. Now I
هو
got it.
اصلا من قبل ما يشتغل على المشروع هو متعين ان الاخ ده يشتغل معاه.
تعاليا
Let me say it in English. Now we have this question is asking, okay? Now I have been assigned by the company top management, okay, to lead a certain project regardless of the priority of this project. I have been assigned by the company top management to be responsible for a certain project. That's fine. And suddenly, while I'm staying in my office, we haven't started even having kickoff meeting to identify the team or anything related to the project. Suddenly, I found someone getting inside my room or get inside my office and telling me that, hey, Haitham, how are you? I'm good. By the way, I am assigned with you in this project. How come we haven't made even the kickoff for this project? The question is asking why that guy is claiming that he's going to work with you in this project. Again, the tricky point here, who notes that he will also be working on this project, which is going directly to remove the last answer, which is answer D. The principal architect is expressing his interest. He doesn't come to you and telling you that or telling me that, Haitham, please, I would like to join this project. Try to do your effort to make me inside this project. In that situation, if he's going to say so, then he's expressing his interest. But he has a certain information that he is going to work with you on this project. So the last answer is going to be removed.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, the principal architect has gotten ahead of himself. Nothing in the question referring to that. Nothing in the question referring to that. It can be something related to that in case a certain thing in your question referring to this point. A misunderstanding. Who said, did you discuss with anyone in your question and it refers that there is a misunderstanding? Try to correlate with the real life. Maybe you are going to check with your manager and he's going to tell you that guy, by the way, that guy, we have already pre-assigned him in this project to be awarded this contract. It happens or no, Nether?
Yeah. Oh. يعني it happens and I saw it before. Some يعني let's say some consultant they يعني impose some of the stuff on you to assign people, one or two engineers, to
Mhm.
be inside the project to get the
Mhm.
project. It's like sharing. I don't know what they call it. Not corruption, but it sometimes happen.
Mhm.
Sometimes they told you take this engineer and let him be with you. He's fresh engineer. You have to give
You
him
train him.
the good experience and in order to get the project.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
So now is it clear for you?
yeah, it's clear now.
Okay. Let me check if each and every one um, has understood this question. Raise your hand if it is clear for you, please.
Haitham, I have a small doubt. May I just ask you about it?
Tell me.
Now, is there, if there is no, as you said, there is no way, or in the question it is not mentioned that we need to verify. But if there is an option that it is given to us as a project manager, do we have to cross check to the project sponsor whether this principal architect is the right person assigned or pre-assigned before by somebody else? I mean, it should be the project sponsor who is giving any pre-assignment, correct?
For
I
sure.
mean, okay.
Yeah.
So that means if there is an option available in the question,
And but listen.
yeah,
That in that situation, maybe you will be asked, "What shall you do as a project manager?" You get that
right,
point?
yeah,
What shall you do as a project manager?
yes, okay,
Okay, clear?
yeah.
Okay, lower your hand, please. So let's go back to the question number 12. Okay, we have here Juby. Yeah.
Yeah, Alisa is a project manager tasked with managing an infrastructure project that will consolidate 5 data centers into one. To date, she has completed and received sign off of the project charter and identified her stakeholders. Currently, she is in the process of defining and documenting which processes she will use to manage the project. What output will this activity produce? If I'm not mistaken, the answer would be the project management plan because she has already had the project charter, the stakeholder register, and the scope management comes after that, after having the project management plan.
Who said the scope management is coming after the project management plan?
And this is what my understanding was.
No. The project management plan is a consolidated document of each and every element of your project. So going to include again the scope management plan. It's going to include the cost management plan. It's going to include the resource management plan. It's going to include the risk management plan. It's going to include the stakeholder management plan. It's going to include the risk management, communication management plan. It's going to include the procurement management plan. So it's a consolidated document
Oh,
of all of these plans. It's not a separate standalone document from all the other plans. It's
it's
going
part
to
of.
be a consolidated document. All of these plans will be under a certain umbrella called project management plan.
Okay. Because
Okay.
it's not project order because we have already done the sign off the project order. So I know that that will not be there. The other
But
two are part of the project management plan. Yeah.
actually, I cannot hear you. I cannot hear you, Juby.
Yeah, what I was saying was she has already the question itself. They have already given that the project charter is already signed off. So
Mhm.
option A is incorrect for sure. So the
Yes.
stakeholder register and the scope management plan is the part of the project management plan. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
but
Correct.
why we have selected the project management plan, because here we are talking about she is in the process. Because of that, I asked you to start with the last two sentence in your question. Let me go back again and highlight it. So currently she is in the process of defining and documenting which processes she will use to manage the project overall. What output will this activity produce? When we are going to talk about the project overall, then it will be the project
Project
management
management
plan.
line. Okay. Scope is specifically about the scope
If
only.
there is, because we are not going to talk about the scope specifically, only about the scope, then, and we are talking about the project as a one package, then we are going to have the project management plan.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let me ask. Who else? Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Okay. Question number 13, please.
Which of the following are components that make up the scope baseline? First, option A, the project scope baseline.
Listen, listen,
Uh,
listen, 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 listen. Again, you need to read your question carefully. Which of the following are components that make the scope baseline? Select three.
yeah.
Select three. You have to pay attention for each and every letter in your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me.
So I choose option A, and then second one option C and D. This is first one the project scope statement, and C is WBS work breakdown structure, and D work breakdown structure dictionary. These three
Yes,
I choose.
yes. If you remember when we were talking about the scope baseline, we were saying that the scope baseline consists of three main elements: scope
Yes.
statement, WBS, and WBS dictionary. Question number
Yes.
14. Question number 14, if you remember when we were talking about the quality and we were saying that there is a certain definitions and certain theories related to the quality, just you need to remember the part which is related, or you need to remember the definition, or the assumptions of each theory, and to which part of quality it is related, and you are going to find it as a straightforward question. Let me go back to the uh, just 1 second. Let me desktop. Let me open this question. طيب, it was in part 1. Mm, You remember this? You can see the slide.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
You need to just read the theory and the approach, and after that you are going to pick the right answer. It's straightforward. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now the question is talking about the total quality management. When it comes to the total quality management, we are going to pick the answer number D. Answer number D. Just 1 second. You can see the slide.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. A project manager interested in gaining insight into areas of team strength and weakness may use which of the following tools? Again, a project manager interested in gaining insights into areas of team strength and weakness may use which of the following tools? Training, personality assessment, meeting, individual and the team assessment. When it comes to the training, and you're going to pick the answer of training, it will come for sure after the assessment. It will come after the assessment because you need to understand what is the gap and how to close the gap. So first of all, we are talking about he would like to know what is the team strength and weakness. So he's still in the assessment stage. He cannot define the training requirements. So that is the first point. Meetings with whom? Maybe he's going to make team meeting, but the meeting, what is the objective of this meeting? Personality assessment on the individual level or what? But when it comes to the individual and the team assessment, when it comes to the individual and the team assessment, here he's going to make assessment on the personal level and the team level, how the team are responding to each other, how they are cooperating, are they able to deliver the required task or no? Maybe, let's say for example, me as a Haitham, when I'm going to work in a certain project, maybe Haitham is a subject matter expert in his area. That's good. But when he is going to come to work with the team members, he cannot make the required work because what? He doesn't have the team requirements, team management skills, team communication skills. So first of all, I would like to make assessment for Haitham on the individual level, and after that on the team level. Is it clear for each and everyone or no? Let me if it is clear, raise your hand please. Dua.
Yes, Haitham. Sorry, I was on mute.
No, it's okay. Is it clear for you or no?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Bura. Mr. Bura. Okay. Let's go back to the questions. Okay. Ruba.
Yes.
Okay, question number 16.
A project manager works within a department that has a PMO. The primary purpose of the PMO organization is to ensure that the department receives the support needed to deliver successful project outcomes, as well as remain compliant with the published project governance requirements. What type of PMO is this? I'm not sure, but I've chosen supportive.
Supportive?
I don't know this question, so I just
okay. What is a supportive? If anyone remember the difference between supportive, controlling, and directive, I would appreciate if someone is going to remind us with the difference between the three options. Engineer Muhammad, are you still remember? Engineer Muhammad?
ايوه يا هيثم معاك.
Do you still remember the difference between the supportive, controlling, and directive PMO?
يعني طشاش كده يا هيثم، بس هو في السؤال
قول لي.
اعتقد ان هو كان سي اللي هي كنترولنج.
ليه؟
لان هو مش مجرد بيعمل سبورت بس.
اوكي.
هو مش مجرد بيعمل سبورت، هو برضو ليه انبوت في الموضوع، يعني ليه دور في
طب ليه ما ناخدش الدايركتيف؟
ما هو انا بصراحه انا اخترت اللي هو الكنترولنج على اساس ان هو الكونتريبيوشن بتاعه، يعني مش لدرجه ان هو دايركت، مش لدرجه ان هو يعمل لهم دايركشنز يعني.
طيب تمام ماشي اوكي. طيب let me explain the difference between the supportive, controlling and directive. When it comes to the supportive, we have mainly three kinds of the PMO according to the PMBOK 6th edition. One is called supportive, second one is called controlling, the third one is called directive. Okay, the directive is the one which have highest authority and the highest control over the projects. Additionally, in the directive, the project team and the projects teams are part of the PMO. The highest restricted PMO is the directive PMO. The team of the project and the other projects teams are part of the PMO. They are reporting to the PMO. The PMO in the directive level is controlling each and every part related to the project. On the other hand, the most simplest one is the supportive PMO. Supportive PMO is acting as a respiratory for the project managers. At this moment, he's going to provide training. Maybe he's responsible for this office is responsible for the coordination, only coordination, or having certain documentation, and he's going to provide this stuff with this documentation. More than that, it doesn't have any rule in the project. Whether this project is matching according to a certain standard, this project is following the governance inside this organization, the performance is on time, we are ahead of schedule, we are behind the schedule. He doesn't make anything. It doesn't make anything. It's called supportive, respiratory for the documentation, respiratory for the forms, having certain training for their staff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have any control over the project. When it comes to the controlling PMO, it's something between the directive and supportive. It's more, or it has more strength than the supportive, but for sure it has lower strength than the directive. In the controlling PMO, the team are not a part of the PMO, but the controlling PMO is going to put the standards, policies, and procedures which should be followed by the team members, which will be followed by the team members. Maybe somehow is going to report on the project performance, but at the end of the day, it doesn't have control over the project's team. So for this project, or for this question, we are going to pick the answer of controlling PMO, because here it doesn't refer to anything referring to that the team is part of the PMO. The directive PMO has full control of each and every part related to the PMO. On the other hand, the supportive doesn't have any policies procedures, or anything related to the governance of the project. Is it clear for each and everyone? Raise your hand if it is clear for you, please. Okay. Lower your hand, please. Mm. Mm. Nader. Nader.
Yes, Haitham.
Question number
But
17.
17.
Mm.
All of the following are true regarding the perform, integrate, change control process, except for which one? The process is carried out as a part of executing the project work. This process is performed throughout the project lifecycle. This process addresses changes that encompass corrective action, preventive action, and defect repair. This process belongs to the project integration management knowledge area. This process is carried out as a part of executing the project work.
First of
It
all,
is not.
first
Uh,
of all, read the question again.
it's the CCB high. All is true. All of the following are true regarding the perform, integrate, change control process, except for which one? يعني واحدة is not.
Yes, so you have been
All are
told that
true except one. Yes,
yes, and you are requested to select the wrong one.
the wrong one. Yes.
Okay.
أنا For me, the process is carried out as a part of executing the project manager, the project work. The process performed throughout the life cycle. صح. This process addresses changes that encompass corrective action, preventive action, and effects. صح. This process belongs to the project integration management knowledge area. It is, I think, the first one. A.
Why?
Because all the three are true.
And why you are sure that the first one is wrong?
Because it's not a part of executing. It's
So it is
part of
part of what?
changing. يعني after you finish and agree on the what يعني what is coming up out of the change control process, it's going to the executing, but itself it's not executing.
So it's coming under what?
Change request.
No.
Risk
If you
risk.
remember, no,
Huh?
no, no. Hold on, hold
Huh?
on, hold on.
Yeah.
If you remember, we were saying that we have 5 main process group. One is called initiating. Second is called planning. Third is called executing. Fourth is called monitor control, and the last one is closing. When it
Yeah.
comes to perform integrated a change control process,
Perform. So it's yes, yes, yes. It is
it is
in.
part of the monitor and control process group. Let me show you one thing.
Mm.
In third presentation. Mm, 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 mm. You can see the slide, Nether.
Perform integrated change control. The process of reviewing
No,
all
no,
change.
hold on. No, no, hold on.
Yes. Monitoring
It's
and.
a
Mm.
monitor control process group, and it is part of the integration management knowledge area.
Yes, yes, yes. But I was just, يعني I did not remember this
I know. Again, I
slide, but
know.
I'm talking freely, يعني.
Yeah, yeah. What I'm saying, I know that we are in the early beginning. We need some time to remember and memorize the interaction between the processes. But we are doing right now, just we are trying to brainstorm together how the questions will be asked in the exam.
Mhm.
So here you can understand that maybe you are going to find or you are going to face a certain question. It is straightforward.
Yeah, yeah, it is right.
Okay. Okay. So that is the this one. Okay. Question number 18. آه باشمهندس محمد اتفضل حضرتك.
Gabriela is responsible for leading project delivery efforts within her department currently. Within her department. Currently, she is managing a project that will add a series of new features to a smartphone application that offers users an interactive virtual friend. She's managing the beginning and end of the project using a waterfall approach and executing the work by following Scrum practices. At the onset of the project, Gabriela documents how the project will be executed, monitored, and closed. What document is Gabriela creating? She's creating the project management plan. It's number B.
Okay. So now again we have been asked about the project management plan in another way. So here we have been asking about the project management plan on how the project is going to be executed, monitored, and controlled. The overall project, the overall project. And here we are not talking about the release backlog. Release backlog means what? We are going to take a certain portion of the project, which is that release, and we are going to do it specifically. We are going, when it comes to the Agile Manifesto, Agile Manifesto is just the principles. It's just the principles. It's not a document. If you remember when we were talking about the 14 principles of the Agile, a stakeholder engagement plan, nothing in our question is referring to the stakeholders. And again, if we can start reading, starting from this point, at the onset of the project, Gabriella documents how the project will be executed, monitored, and closed. If you go through this part and then you go through the answers, you can select the right answer without need to go back to this part. But sometimes, again, that doesn't work out. But to save your time, in your exam, try to work smart. Read the question and read the answer from this point or the last two paragraphs and read the answer. If you can pick the right answer, then fine. If you are not able to make this, then go back and read that question. Question number 19. Let me ask Juby. Juby,
Yes, sir.
question number 19, please.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Okay, question number 19.
You are using a control chart for quality control purposes. Which of the following statements are true regarding control charts? Select
Mhm.
common causes of variance include random, known, or predictable, and variances that are always present in the process. And common causes of variance are plotted on a control chart. Statements are true regarding the control charts. Okay. Yeah.
Again, hold on. Select three.
Hmm.
Select three.
Select three.
Okay, go ahead.
Control charts measure variances to determine whether process variants are in control or out of control. That is the same of A. Okay. Can just scroll down a bit.
It's A, B, C, and D. Yeah.
Okay, so then common causes of variance that are outside of the acceptable range may require the project manager to approve changes to or the reorganization of the process. Control charts are used in conjunction with the rule of seven. Ah, I mean, it's not because I'm clear of this, but I'm choosing A, B, and C. I'm not sure of the answer.
A, B, and C. Are you familiar with the control chart?
I can't recollect.
Okay, let me. Okay. This is control chart.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I
The
remember this.
control chart is one of the quality control tools. One of the quality control tools. And it's going to check the stability of your process. Let's say you have a certain pen. That pen, you would like to ensure that each and every time you are going to have that pen, it will have that thickness, it will have that what, that level of ink when you are going to write or by using it. So you are going to take samples from your process and you are going to check what will be the mean, I mean the average, for example, the average thickness which you are going to have, and what is the upper control limit for that thickness, and what would be the lower control limits. The 7 points above the mean, which means that in case you are going to have 7 points on consecutive basis above the mean, that means your process is out of control. If you have 1 point out of the upper control limit or lower than the lower control limit, then your process is out of control. And you're going to check the variable and the variances between each and every reading. The main objective behind the control chart is to check the stability of your process. Is to check the stability of your process. Mainly it is used in the manufacturing process. Mainly it is used in the manufacturing process. Here, the question is saying that you are using a control chart for quality control purposes. Which of the following statements are true regarding the control charts? Select 3. Again, one word can change everything. Common causes of variance, including random, known, or predictive, and variances that always present in the process, and the common causes of variances are plotted on a control chart. Then what we have seen now is representing the first point. Second point, control charts measure variances to determine whether the process variances are in control or out of control. Also, this one is representing the control charts.
Correct.
Common causes of variances that are outside of the acceptable range may require the project manager to approve changes or to reorganization of the process. Who said that the project manager has to intervene in that and taking a certain decision? Maybe he doesn't have the authority to do that. Maybe he doesn't have the authority to do that. Maybe you are going to attend the results of the testing, but you are not going to approve it. Maybe to approve, you have to take the approval from the top management of your project. Control charts are used in conjunction with the rule of 7. If we go back to that slide, 7 points above the mean.
So A, B, and D.
Yeah, is it clear right now?
Yes, it is. Thank you for that.
Okay, most welcome. Is it clear for each and everyone? If it is clear for you, raise your hand, please. Okay. Lower your hand, please. Let's go to question number 20. Okay. Now, Ruba,
Yes, Haitham.
question number 20, please.
A project manager is the process of developing the project structure and of using a hybrid project management approach. Almost immediately, he identifies several constraints where he likely to document the constraints and maintain regular updates as they change throughout the project. Okay. A. Project vision, sprint backlog, risk register, assumption log. Project vision,
Again?
project vision, product vision.
Okay. Let's go back to the first presentation. You can see that slide.
Yes.
Okay, this is the process of develop project charter. All the assumptions and constraints which will be recorded in your project will be updated in the assumptions log. It will be recorded and updated in the assumptions log. Ruba, is it clear for you right now?
Yes.
All the assumptions and constraints which are related to your project, it will be mentioned in the assumptions log. So again, for this question, he defines several constraints. Where is he likely to document the constraints and maintain regular updates as they change throughout the project? Product vision, sprint backlog, risk register, or assumptions and constraints log. Again, we have to define the difference between each one of these. When it comes to the product vision, it will be what do you want as objective for this project? What is the benefits which you are going to gain? What will be the business model for your project? Sprint backlog, it's related to the requirements, technical requirements of your project, or sorry, of your sprint, which will be conducted in this moment. Risk register, the assumptions and constraints, it will be converted into risk in case you are not committed to it. So first of all, you need to register the assumptions and constraints in the assumptions log, and after that you are going to analyze these assumptions and constraints to update the risk register with the risks which you may find as an output of analyzing the assumptions and constraints. Is it clear right now, Ruba?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, question number 21. Dua.
Haitham, just
Yes.
I want to confirm. Uh, the constraints is not considered as a risk. Is that correct? In this case, where is he likely to document the constraints and maintain regular updates? Ah, okay, fine.
Clear?
Yes, yes. Okay.
Okay. Dua.
Okay, Haitham. Which contract type can incorporate instead of meeting or exceeding certain contract levels? I'm not sure إذا فهمت السؤال. One second. Which contract type can incorporate instead for meeting or exceeding certain contract level of a fair price of the goods or service return? I'm not sure من إذا
طيب.
فهمت السؤال يعني.
طب خلينا ناخدها بالراحه. انت كنت حاضره معانا اصلا بريكيورمنت ولا لا؟
لا ما حضرت البريكيورمنت.
اوكي. طيب خلينا كده نرجع الجزء بتاع دي كده ايه بارت 2. طيب بصي انا عاوزك تقري كده السلايد ده.
اوكي. Okay, so it's cost reimbursable.
كملي وبعدين انا عاوزك بقى تكملي القرايه لحد الاخر.
اوكي قرأت.
طيب بص يا ستي، احنا عندنا او let me speak in English. As per the types of contracts which we have in the procurement, we have three main types. One is called the firm fixed price contract. Okay. Another one we call cost reimbursable contract, and third one is time and the material contract. Okay. When it comes to the firm fixed price contract, we have three subcategories. First one is called firm fixed price, and in that one you have a lump sum cost for your, or lump sum amount or lump sum value for your contract, and you have agreed with your client, sorry, with your vendor on that price. So whatever will happen inside this project, you are not going to exceed it by 1 cent. Okay, that is the first one, our first subcategory. Second subcategory of the firm fixed price contract is firm fixed price contract plus incentive, that you are going to identify. Let's say the total fees of your contract is 500 KD. Okay, and you have agreed with your contractor or your vendor to finish that contract within 6 months. If he's going to finish it within 6 months, he will be eligible only for the 500 KD. Or he's going to, you have agreed with him for a certain quality level. If he's going to meet this quality level, for sure he's going to be eligible for this 500 KD. Okay? Additionally, when you are going to write this contract, you are going to say there will be a certain incentive percentage. This incentive percentage, maybe you are going to say it will be 1% of the total price of the contract, or 2%, or whatever the percentage. But your vendor will not be eligible to take it unless he's going to make exceptional performance. Which means if you have agreed with him to finish this project within 6 months, that is a standard time. But also, you are going to tell him that if you finish this project within 4 months or 4 months and a half or 5 months, you will be eligible to take this amount of money. Otherwise, you will take only the main amount. Is it clear till now?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Third subcategory, which is fixed price contract with economic condition adjustment. What do you mean with this? Let's say we have agreed upon 500 KD, but there will be a certain term or condition inside this contract stating that in case there will be at any moment there will be a fluctuation in the prices, the prices is subject to be reviewed and re-evaluated, whether the prices are going to go up or go down. For example, I have a certain contract with the ministry to supply this ministry with like 100 BC per year for about 10 years. And I have identified my price and my profit margin for each BC. However, one time, Kuwait started to apply the value added tax. At this moment, maybe I'm going to make loss instead even of making the break even. I'm going to make loss. I'm going to pay for my pocket of money. So in that situation, this term will be there to review the prices in case of anything require that. That's called fixed price with economic condition adjustment. The second main category is called cost reimbursable contract. The vendor will be reimbursed based on the actual cost which he has paid, plus certain profit margin. He has to present invoices. It's not anymore lump sum amount. He has to present the invoices. He will be reimbursed for the cost which he has paid, and will have agreed upon the certain profit margin. Second subcategory of the cost reimbursable contract is called cost reimbursable with incentive. He is going to be awarded on the actual cost plus certain percentage we have agreed upon it if he is going to exceed or he is going to have exceptional performance. Maybe you are going to say, then what is the difference between this and that? The previous one. In the fixed price contract, still you have a lump sum amount. And in our question, above firm price for the good or service. firm price, which means you have identified the price. It's not for the actual cost. It's not the actual cost. He's not going to reimburse it for the actual cost plus incentive. But here, it is lump sum amount, firm price for the goods or service. Dua, is it clear for you?
Yes, clear. Thank you, Haitham.
Okay. Time and material contract. The scope is not clear for me. Like the design example which we have given for many times in our course. Like the marketing campaign which we have discussed for many times. I don't know the scope. So based on the scope which is going to be clear day by day, and based on the effort which I'm going to consume inside your project, or which I'm going to exert inside your project, I'm going to define how much I'm going to gain. Question number 22. So this question, the right answer, it will be fixed price contract. Question number 22. We have here Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir. I hear it.
Question number 22.
Contract phases are closely related to the project procurement management knowledge. The area processes all of the following are true except for which one? Okay, there is the requirement stage which establishes the project and contract needs is related to the plan procurement management process. B, the requisition stage where responses to procurement documents are reviewed is related to the conduct procurement process. C, the award stage where the contract is awarded is related to the conduct procurement process. D, two of the outputs of the plan procurement management process are inputs to the conduct procurement process. So I have no idea about this one, the answer, because the procurement, we have no any procurement department, and I will follow and I will check all the from your which one you just learn us. I will check this one, the project management procurement knowledge.
Okay. Engineer Muhammad, please.
Yes, guys. Tell me.
Question number 22, please.
Contract phases are closely related to the project procurement management knowledge area process. All of the following are true except for which one? A, the requirement stage, which establishes the project and the contract needs related to the plan procurement management process. 1 minute. B, the requisition stage, where responses to procurement documents are reviewed, is related to the conduct procurement process. C, the award stage, where the contract is awarded, is related to the conduct procurement process. D, two of the outputs of the plan procurement management process are inputs to the conduct procurement process. Which one?
They are asking you for select the wrong answer.
Actually, I choose B, Haitham, on this one.
Why?
Because this B, I believe, is coming in a premature phase. It's coming before the project procurement management knowledge.
What do you mean with this?
I mean that the procurement management knowledge, the project procurement management knowledge is including all other things, but this one, the requisition stage where responses to procurement documents are reviewed, is related to the conduct procurement process. I don't think it belongs to the procurement management knowledge.
Yes. Again, this part is a straightforward question. Just you need to be familiar with the steps in this process, and you are going to pick the right answers. Yes, as per the answer which have been said right now by Engineer Muhammad, the right answer, the wrong answer in this, it will be the requisition stage where responses to procurement documents are reviewed is related to the conduct procurement process. Actually, this part is plan procurement process, but the others, which I mean A and C, are right, and D, yes, two of the output of the plan procurement process are inputs to conduct procurement process. Let me show you one thing. As long as we are talking about the procurement, we are still in the same slide. No, no, no. Ah, okay. Let me show you one thing. Okay. That is the output of plan procurement. Have a look on that. And when it comes to the, where is part 3? Okay. When it comes to part 3, let me show you one thing. That is conduct procurement. Have a look on that. The input, procurement management plan, project documents, procurement documentation, seller proposal, enterprise environmental factors, and organization process assets. See, the procurement management plan is output of the plan procurement. It's here. Project documents. It's here. Additionally, procurement statement of work. It's part of the procurement documentation. Bid documents. It's part of procurement documentation. Additionally, the organization process assets update. It will be here as organization process assets. Is it clear for you right now or no? Juby. Juby.
It's clear, Haitham.
Okay. Okay. Now, question number 23. Let me ask Nader.
Yes, Haitham.
Question number 23.
Uh, w- w- which of the following scheduling method does Kanban use? Critical path method? لا. Critical chain method? No. Iterative scheduling? On demanding on demand schedule. And I remember it's related to lean. Uh, Kanban, which of the following? Uh, iterative scheduling.
No.
No. It's from the first sessions.
Okay, let me show you one thing.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
شايفين? You can see that.
Mhm.
That is one of the on-demand planning.
On demand.
On-demand planning.
It is written here somewhere.
Let me
Where
show
it's
you.
written. They call it on demand like this.
Yeah, and I will show it to you.
And I remember it's only related to lean. أو it is the same basics of the lean يعني. As a principle.
Just one second. Just one second.
Yes.
Coordination with other products, on-demand planning. Why agile? Agile Mafacito. Okay, just one second. Agile release planning on demand. Okay, on demand project network diagram, Gantt chart. On demand planning. Agile on demand planning. No, it's not in this slides. On demand planning. Just one second. خليني بس اطلعها لك عشان ايه.
بجوز ببارت 1.
Just give me seconds in انا مش مجمع ثانية واحدة. Part 1. Okay. Part 2 for attendees. Projected charter. Just one second, because I'm sure we have here somewhere organization. Okay, number of meetings, milestones, change request, decomposition. Milestones, on demand planning. بص هو انا مش فاكرها هي فين بالظبط دلوقتي يا نادر، بس
أنا
هي
فاكرها في بارت 1 إذا ممكن.
ما
بس
هي موجوده اصلا في بارت 1، بس انا الصراحه مش مجمعها دلوقتي.
بس مش
بس عشان تبقى
موضح
عارف.
مش
لا
مكتوب
لا
اسم اون ديماندنج.
لا هو في مكتوبه، بس انا عشان برضو تبقى فاكرها يعني. انت عندك الديماند بلاننج ديت اللي هي كامبان ميثود.
تمام، كان ميثود.
اوكي
انا شايفها في بارت 1، ممكن اشوف لك اياها اطلعها يعني.
طيب طيب بس خلينا بس عشان ايه ننجز في الوقت.
اسمك
الدور على
ماشي خلاص ماشي متأكد منها. تمام.
Okay, when working, okay. Question number 24. Who else? Juby.
Yes, Haitham. Okay.
Okay, question number 24, please.
Okay. When working in the conduct procurement process, you might be asking the vendor to supply you with an ink sample for a project on which you are working. The ink must have special qualities. They were outlined in the RFQ. Request for quotation. And before making a selection, you want to test the ink in the printers, and that will be used at project deployment. All of the following statements are true, except for which one? Okay, this is an example of a proposal evaluation technique, which is a tool and technique of this process. This is an example of source selection criteria, which are inputs of this process. This is an example of proposal evaluation technique, which is an output of this process. Source selection criteria might also include financial capacity and technical capability. Proposal evaluation technique, which is a tool and technique of this process. Okay, so that is part of the RFQ. It is supposed to be. This is an example of source selection criteria, which are inputs of this process, okay, which will determine whether it meets the quality. This is an example of a proposal, which is an output of this process. It's actually an output. Source selection criteria might also include.
Okay, first of all, source selection criteria. Source selection criteria. When you are going to identify it,
Whether the require after when we are sending for quotation.
first of all, source selection criteria, when you are going to create it, you are going to create it in the plan procurement. Because of that, you are going to use it inside the conduct procurement. You are going to use it as a tool for evaluating the proposals which you are going to receive. It will not be a output of conduct procurement, but it will be output of the plan procurement. So the wrong answer here, it will be C. Because here we are in the conduct procurement. Right or wrong?
Can you just give it a thought again?
Can you what?
Can you just repeat that again?
You want me to repeat it?
Yes, just repeat it once more.
Okay. Let me show you one thing. That is conduct procurement, right?
Right.
Okay. Here, you can see the source selection criteria.
No.
That is the output of the procurement or conduct procurement, right?
Yes.
Okay. The question is saying what? You are when working in the conduct procurement process. Okay, just highlight it. Conduct procurement process. Okay, you might consider asking a vendor to supply you with ink sample for a project which you are working in. The ink must have special qualities. Okay, they were outlined in the RFQ. The RFQ is going to create it where?
The input.
The RFQ is going to be created in plan procurement.
Yes.
Okay, and before making a selection, before making a selection. So you want to test the ink in the printers that will be used at a project deployment. All of the following statements are true except for which one? For sure, the proposal evaluation technique. Proposal evaluation technique, it will be created in plan procurement, not in conduct procurement. Because as an output of conduct procurement, you are going to sign a contract, not to create the proposal evaluation requirements or techniques. Is it clear right now or no?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Question number 25. Engineer Muhammad.
هيثم.
سؤال 25 يا باشمهندس.
You are a project manager working within a division that recently experienced a reorganization. Your new manager will now step in as the sponsor of your existing project. She asks for a briefing on the timeline, outcomes yielded by the project that will provide value to the department. What is she describing? She's describing the benefits, guys.
Why?
Because they are she wants a brief of the timeline of outcomes yielded by the project that will provide value to the department. Value to the department, she's talking about the staff. She's talking
When
about
we
the
are
team.
talking, yes, when it comes to the value, again, we are talking about the value, the outcome, the benefits which we are going to gain, the value. We have to differentiate between the deliverables, the milestones, and the value. Value means the business need, why I have undertaken this project. The key word here, provide value. Is it clear? And here we haven't talking about the cash inflow or the cash outflow or the net present value of the money which you are going to gain, or the internal rate of return which we have defined before. So the right answer is the benefits of the business, the value. Why is assessing risk probability in the perform qualitative risk analysis processes is difficult? Let me ask Abdul Rahman.
Yes, sir.
What is the right answer here and why?
Which one, sir?
Why assessing, I mean question number 26.
Yeah.
Why
Why is
assessing a risk? Yeah, read it please.
Yeah, why is assessing? Sorry, it's, can you make up? Question number 26. Yeah.
Okay.
Why is assessing risk probability in the perform qualitative risk analysis the process difficult? Because it's relies on historical data, because the value are cardinal, because the value are ordinal, because it's relies on expert judgment. Quality risk analysis.
First of all, what is the difference between qualitative risk assessment or qualitative risk analysis and quantitative risk assessment?
No, sir, no idea.
When it comes to the difference between qualitative risk assessment and the quantitative risk assessment. Quantitative risk assessment mainly talking about the numerical values. Numerical values. We are going to talk about. We are going to talk about
Yeah.
the overall project risk. We are going to talk about the overall project risk. But qualitative risk assessment, we are going to depend on our expertise and our historical data. Here, as long as we are going to talk about the probability, to talk about the risk probability, we are going to depend on the expert judgment. To talk about the risk probability in the qualitative risk analysis, we are going to depend on expert judgment. Because of that, it is difficult to identify. Question number 27. Who else? Ruba.
Yes, I can.
Could you read the question and tell me the answer, please?
Manfred and Frank are two project managers who have supported one another throughout their careers. Lately, Frank has sought Manfred's advice on getting his team to adopt extreme programming practices. While wrapping up their latest launch session, Frank asked Manfred how he can create an open, encouraging environment in which team members can contribute. What advice can Manfred give Frank to achieve this outcome? And I'm not sure, but I chose D. And to develop the project team.
You selected which one?
D. Spend time developing the project team. It was between شو اسمه هذا establishing ground rules يعني A و D or developing بس maybe it's more of developing the project team.
Just give me a second to read the question from my end. Manfred and Frank are two project managers who have supported one another throughout their careers. Frank has shown advice on getting his team to adopt extreme programming practices while wrapping up their latest launch session as to how he create an open, encouraging environment in which team members can contribute, can give to spend time by establishing ground rules for the project, spend time rewarding the project team, spend team discipline the project team, spend team time to develop project team. Which answer you have selected?
D. Spend time
Why?
developing the project team.
Why?
Because it's mentioned here how we can create an open, encouraging environment in which team members can contribute. So it's a matter of developing the team. I don't know, it's a thought.
That's true. Okay. Question number 28. Let me 28. Let's say. Okay. نادر. معلش هو اصلا العدد قليل فاحنا عمالين نلف وندور في حوالي 3 4. اتفضل.
لا بسيط يعني احسن يا صباح يعني practicing is very good.
Okay.
بس
So question number 28.
Yes, 28. Ernst is managing a project release using the Scrum model and has decided to collocate the team for the duration of the project. What benefits will Ernst release by using this approach? Select 3. Increase the effectiveness of team dynamic. create continuous learning environment at reduced costs, increase knowledge sharing, expand the pool of available resources, expand the pool of available what benefit collocate okay ماشي D is okay. uh, increase the knowledge sharing. uh, C is okay. Create continuous learning environment at reduced cost, increase effectiveness of team dynamics, uh, collocate the team for the duration of the project. Increase the effectiveness of the team dynamic مظبوط. B is not right. يعني A,
مين اللي
C,
قال؟
D okay. B
مين اللي قال؟
continue. yeah.
مين اللي قال؟
أنا هيك شنصت شكلي.
طيب خلينا كده. Let's remind ourselves with what why I
آه.
cannot say what I want. Okay, with what with what we have mentioned in the early beginning of our lecture. If you remember when we were saying the co-location activity, the main purpose behind the co-location activity is to have like war room. War room, each and everyone is going to work beside each other. So at this moment, we are going to break the ice between the team. We are going to encourage the team spirit between the team members. We are going to transfer the knowledge easily between the team members, even without having certain formal training and paying money for it, because each and every one is seeing the others.
Yes, yes.
And
Now the factory of the cake. Cake
yes,
factory. No, and
yes.
then D is the wrong.
So why B is wrong?
Because expand the pool of available resources. It is in the same, let's say, they are all together in one place. Is it?
Yes, but it's not related to this co-location. The answer D, when we are going to say expand the pool of available resources. Available resource, when you are going to add expand the pool, you are going to add more resources. Expand the pool of available resources means you are going to add more resources. But when you are going to talk about the having co-location, it doesn't have any relation with having pool of available resources. You
Yes,
understand my
yes.
point?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
I understand. I remember now. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Uh, mm, 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 Juby, question number 29.
You have been hired into a new organization. You are working on an RFP. You have discovered that the qualified seller list of this organization includes a company owned by someone who attended college with you. You have performed a make or buy analysis and decided it is best to procure the product needed for this project. Okay. So you are helping the procurement group prepare the upcoming bidder conference and are determining the criteria to use the evaluate proposal. You schedule a meeting with your manager and the procurement officer to explain your association with one of the vendors. Okay, since you haven't seen your college friend in many years, you are certain this won't be a problem. What area of a PMI code of ethics and professional conduct does this question refer to? And which process are you conducting? Conflict of interest and the control procurement process, ensuring integrity on the conduct procurement process, ensuring integrity, control procurement process, conflict of interest and conduct procurement process. This is the same, right? A and D is the same.
A and D are the same. Then B and C are the same.
Okay, you want me to choose out of this?
Again, Juby, read carefully the answers.
Conflict of interest.
First of all, okay, you need to read the code of ethics of the PMI. It's a document of like 4 pages. Let me share it with you over the WhatsApp once we finish our session. However, it doesn't need in this question. You don't need to read the
Yes,
this
conflict
document.
D.
What?
It should be D
Why?
because it's the rest. The first A is control procurement process, but conflict of interest is part of conduct procurement process.
Conflict of interest is part.
Of conduct procurement process.
Who said?
Conduct.
No, hold on. Who said the conflict of interest is part of anything? It's a
No,
code of ethics.
it's
Hold
also,
on,
yeah.
just 1 second, please. Code
Mm,
of ethics. Code of ethics is a standalone part. It can be interfering with any part of your project
mm.
during executing, during motor control, during planning, in any knowledge area, in scope, in cost, in quality, or whatever. Let's say, for example, mm, you have been hired to audit a certain project, okay? And you discover that one of the team members is your nephew, for example, and you were not that you were not knowing that he's part of that team. Then he's part of what?
It's a conflict.
What
It's a conflict of.
is what?
Can you hear me? It's a
Yeah,
conflict.
now I can.
It's a conflict.
Now I cannot. Okay, anyway, let me tell you one thing. The conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Let's say now you have a case inside the court. You have a case inside the court, and the judge who is going to give the decision regarding this case, suddenly he discovered that the one who is accused in this case was his friend. Then the judge he has to withdraw from this case, right?
Yes,
Why?
because he is not the right person to make the judgment whether he is accused or free.
Because that is conflict of interest.
Conflict of.
That is conflict of interest. The conflict of interest, regardless of the process, it can happen at any time. It can happen with any knowledge area. But here, they are testing 2 parts. Your understanding for the situation, which is someone, or let's say you have just been hired to a new organization. Forget about this. You are working on an RFP, and you have discovered the qualified seller list for this organization include a company owned by someone who has attended the college with you. Then that is the conflict of interest. You have to report this. Okay?
Straight away. Yes.
Okay. You have performed make or buy analysis and decided it is best to procure the product needed for this project. You are helping the procurement group to prepare for the upcoming bidder conference. Upcoming bidder conference is part of conduct procurement.
Procurement.
Is part of what?
Conduct procurement process.
So now the right answer is what?
conflict of interest, and the conduct procurement process.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now let's move. Most welcome. Is it clear for each and everyone?
Yes, Haitham, but can you repeat just the conflict of interest? This part.
طيب خلينا ناخدها لك كده بالعربي. انت دلوقتي يا عم ماشي، انت ليك واحد صاحبك دلوقتي تمام. انت راح تعمل مثلا تدقيق على شركه، حلو الكلام. تدقيق على شركه ديت، انت اكتشفت ان انت الناس اللي انت راح تعمل عليهم تدقيق دولت فيهم واحد صاحبك. سيبك من اللي بيحصل بعيد عن المهنيه، بس
Yes,
على ارض الواقع اللي انت رحت لقيت واحد صاحبك بيشتغل في المكان ده، انت يبقى عندك استشعار للحرج، صح؟
أكيد صحيح.
او لقيت مديرك هو اللي ماسك الليله دي، فانت طبعا ما هتخاف ان انت تعمل اي حاجه لها علاقه بمديرك، صح؟
نعم.
طيب ليه القضاه بيتنحوا عن القضايا؟
عشان يكون في له قرابة مثلا.
بالظبط كده، بيبقى في مثلا قرابه، او هو مثلا استشعر الحرج، هو قابل مثلا حد قبل كده وبينه وبينه عداء. يعني حتى انت المفروض ان انت لو تبقى في حاجه زي كده، المفروض ان تبقى عندك تحيز ده ناحيه اي حاجه. انت
صحيح.
ممكن يبقى هو شخص انت شايفه اللي هو اوريدي هو على حق، بس انت عشان انت على خلاف معاه ممكن يبقى عندك ميول ضده،
يس.
فلازم تتنحى عن الموضوع ده اللي اسمه كونفليكت اوف انترست.
اها، هذا
واضح
الكونفليكت.
كيف؟
اي واضح خلاص.
طيب
تمام.
تمام
شكرا.
حبيبي. Question number 30. Just one second. دعاء.
Yes, I.
Question number 30 please.
Okay, can you just slow down? Thank you. All of the following are benefits of virtual teams except for which one? Costs are dispersed across region. Less travel will be required. The pool of skilled resources widens. The team will be closer to customer and suppliers. I think it's D. The team will be closer to customer and supply. Hello?
أنا
Yeah.
بسمعك. طيب costs
معني
are dispersed. بسمعك بوضوح. Costs are dispersed across the regions. Less travel will be required. The pool of skilled resources widens. The team will be closer to customers and suppliers. اوكي انت قلت، طب خليني بس هي لا خليني انا اسالك سؤال من شغلك وبعد كده جاوبيني انت عليه. اوكي so which company you are working for دعاء؟
For communication company, telecommunication company.
Don't tell me Noor Telecom.
No.
It's okay. Anyway, so this telecommunication company has a certain other locations in different countries or only Kuwait?
No, in Middle East, all Middle East.
All Middle East.
Yeah, not all country, but mostly يعني all region of Middle East.
Okay, ماشي. So why you have opened different locations all over the Middle East?
Because there is business in this country, so they open.
Okay, the team who are working there, they are representing to you as, or they are representing, oh sorry, they are acting to you as virtual team, right?
Yes.
Okay, in case you have a certain project, in a certain country, and this certain country is going to, or this client is going to approach you here in Kuwait.
Okay.
At this moment, you are going to ask this country, or you are going to ask this client to interact directly with your branch in this country, right?
Right.
Why?
Because it's easier to contact them. They are there. They can contact easier. They understand all the like policies and the environment of that country.
So at this moment, D is not the wrong answer.
Okay, but here we're saying the virtual teams. Except
Yes.
on. Okay. Less travel will be required. This is correct. The pool of skilled resources wideness. This is also correct. Costs are dispersed across regions. Here we mean like the cost. What we mean with this one?
Okay. That means the cost will be increased over the regions.
No, the cost will not increase. There is like no reason for the cost to increase in different region.
Yes. Let's say also when you are going to have a certain virtual team, forget about your other locations. Let's say you have a certain team, they are going to work with you on assignments. So in case you are going to assign this team for this project, once you have finished the project, they will be released, right?
Correct.
So the cost which will be allocated for this project, it will be only for this project. So there will no increase in the cost. Right or wrong?
No increase in the cost. No.
So even maybe for the virtual teams, maybe you have only one is representing your company in this location. Right or wrong?
Yes.
And maybe for a certain project, maybe he's going to assign certain team just for this assignment, and after that they're going to be released.
Correct.
So the main factor, or the main fact which we have to take in our consideration here, which is the wrong answer, the costs are dispersed across regions.
Okay.
Because for sure your team will be closer to the customer and suppliers. The pool of skilled resources will be widens. Less travel will be required. But the wrong answer is the costs are dispersed across regions. Is it clear right now?
Okay, but here what I understand from D, like the team will be closer to the customer and supplier. Like here when they say virtual teams, I thought also virtual team with the customer, and it's virtual. خلاص. يعني better to have a client on the side. Sorry, a representative on the site with the customer or virtual. So here when they say virtual teams, it's like the team also virtual with the customer.
The virtual team to you. Virtual team to you. Let's say now you are working for. I'm going to give you a real example. Okay, I'm going to give you a real example. Al Ghanim facilities. Are you familiar with that name? I think Engineer Muhammad and Nader, maybe they are familiar with this. Al Ghanim facilities. It is part of Al Ghanim Holding. They are serving all the showrooms and all the branches of Al Ghanim all over the Middle East. What is their main purpose? What is their main purpose? They are responsible for making renovation for all the showrooms for Al Ghanim, and making renovation for all the coffee shops which is belonging under the Al Ghanim. So let's say one day, and I was part of this, they were having a certain branch for Costa Cafe. Okay, because Costa Cafe right now it's under Al Ghanim. So they were having a Costa Cafe in Saudi Arabia. They were having virtual team to the team here who are doing the project there. You get the point?
Okay.
So at this moment, they were conducting the project inside Saudi Arabia, but at the same time, they were reporting to the management of Al Ghanim facilities here in Kuwait virtually. They were conducting like virtual meetings, conference calls to report on the performance of the project. They were taking snapshot videos. They were opening the site to see the progress in the work. Is it clear for you right now?
Yes, clear. Thank you.
Okay. That's enough for today. tomorrow, inshallah, we are going to continue our discussion. And again, if you have any questions or anything in your mind, you can communicate with me at any moment. Try as much as you can, in case you will be able to do that, to review the questions and select the right answer. And no harm to review the answers and to compare between your answer and the right answer. And also you are going to find the explanation, so you can read why this answer is the right answer. Thank you for today, and inshallah we are going to meet tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye bye.
You too, Haitham. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Good night, guys. Thank you.
تمرني يا فندم. مع السلامة.